Thank you all for being here. This is something that so many of us have been looking forward to for so long. And I think that us all being here together today and being a part of this is just actually the beginning of the next part of this. And this doesn't conclude this effort, and it doesn't really begin it. It sort of just marks a really important moment in it. I'm Susan Hubbard with Eureka Recycling. Eureka Recycling is a nonprofit environmental organization. We're the City of St. Paul's nonprofit recycler and zero waste organization. So zero waste, just a quick second to say that our organization is absolutely committed to demonstrating that waste is completely preventable. And so today is another important step on the way to that demonstration. And we thank you for joining us for the launch of this container and this beginning of the opportunity to recycle in St. Paul's most treasured place, Mears Park. Residents of St. Paul carry out the ritual of recycling at home with great dedication. You probably don't know, but the city of St. Paul has got a recycling rate that rivals any major city in the United States. Not only does the recycling rate rival other major cities, but we're one of the very few, you could count on, unfortunately you could count on one hand, the number of cities that actually saw an increase in recycling in the past few years. So St. Paul is not giving up. We're happy to partner with the City of St. Paul and all of the partner organizations that we've been involved with. So many of you represent those organizations and individuals that have worked with us not just on this project but on so many projects. I want to introduce you to two people who are representing the City of St. Paul today. The City of St. Paul has historically been and continues to be a true leader on environmental issues. Beyond that, the city is also committed to engaging the community on so many levels, including public art. By listening to the community's desires and needs, it is no surprise to us how the City of St. Paul came to be known as the most livable city. The City of St. Paul is the first city in the country to systematically approach public space and park recycling to make sure it's truly sustainable. We're pleased to have such a willing, cooperative, and leading partner, especially Public Works and Parks and Recreation departments. They've been great about testing ideas, pushing the limits, and following through on this process. Today, it's my honor to introduce to you the Public Works Director, Bruce Beese, and the Director of Operations for St. Paul Parks and Recreation, Rich Lallier, to tell you more about this exciting project.
Thank you, Susan. As Susan said, I'm Bruce Beese. I'm the Director of Public Works here in St. Paul. And this project is really one of those things that I think makes us all proud to be St. Paulites, or connected to St. Paul if we work down here or if we play in St. Paul, because this really is pushing the envelope, as Christine said. This is a way that we can create a model not only for our city but for others, to talk about how you can reduce waste in the future in the public realm. And reducing that waste is so important because recycling reduces greenhouse gases, it saves energy, it conserves resources, it actually creates a whole different waste stream that can stimulate the economy and produce employment that we didn't have before. And so this method is really going to be enjoyable to see roll out. It's been fun to roll out thus far, and it's really going to be neat to see how the public responds to what we've been able to do collaboratively here. And that collaboration is really important. We're very pleased in the city to have two very, very good and effective collaborative partners in Public Art St. Paul and in Eureka Recycling. And it's actually a fairly new goal on our list of goals in Public Works to make sure that more art reaches the public realm. It's been one of our goals for a long time to make sure that we recycle and reuse as much as we can in the city, and this is just a really neat nexus, another way to add another strand in that web to bring these collaborative partners together to do the many things that we want to do and to see our community participate in. So with those short remarks, I'd like to now invite Rich Lallier, the Parks and Recreation Operations Director, up to say a few words. Rich.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me. When it comes to recycling in public spaces and parks, we know that the community and the citizens want this. We hear it on a daily basis. People asking us, why can't we recycle in our park system? But rather than doing what other communities might have done and putting out a couple of barrels and marking them as recycling and saying, yep, we have a program, it's more important for us to develop a program that actually works and accomplishes the goals that we've set out to do. And we'll be monitoring these things, and once we understand how we can cost effectively do this process, it is our commitment to expand this throughout the parks and public spaces. Our goal is to make sure that every single park and public space has recycling, and that you can be sure that the recycling, the material that you put into these containers is actually recycled. We've been in partnership with Eureka for a long time. We've done recycling at our rec centers and at our maintenance facilities, but the parks and open spaces sometimes offer different challenges. So there are two other pilot projects that we've been involved with Eureka Recycling. One's at the Como Zoo and Conservatory, where we've placed permanent recycling containers. We've been observing and analyzing how this works. We've also installed recycling stations at our 6 largest picnic pavilions in the city. And so when you go with your family or community groups and you rent these facilities, you're able to recycle inside these picnic facilities. I'd like to take a moment to thank our staff. Some of the people here, Psycho Cell, who was on the initial part of the project, Pat Voida, who's our trash person, who runs our trash person, and Karen Masevich, who couldn't be here and runs our maintenance in the park system, who all have worked diligently to make this happen. Our staff is dedicated to recycling, and our staff has learned a lot over the last year. We're willing to try new things. It's been a lot of work, but it's also something that is natural for Parks and Recreation as the stewards of the city's green space and popular attractions to be involved with. We're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but it's incumbent on everybody to make this work, and it's in everybody's hands for this to be a successful project. We look forward to recycling, so when you're out here, please use the containers. When you're at the Como Conservatory and Zoo, look for the recycling there. If you're using our rental facilities at our picnic pavilions, ask if you don't see them so that we can continue the recycling projects that we've started.
In Public Art St. Paul, we like to think about our environmental program as characterized by a French word, inquietude, that was found for us by our board member Peter Kramer, who is here today. And it essentially means restless striving. We think that artists have a lot to offer, not only to making a beautiful environment, but by encouraging our renewed ideas and refreshed ideas about who we are and where we are and how we come together as a civic people. Restless striving. What we really are about in this program, ultimately, is to change behavior of an urban population here in Mears Park. And as beautiful as this bin is, if the program is successful, the bin will disappear, because our behavior will have changed to the point where we will never throw anything away in a public space. The bin will be gone, and there will be no plastic bottles on the ground. We will have not used them in the first place, or we will have taken them home with us and not required this beautiful public space to continue to be the subject of plastic bins for trash and beautiful bins for this. This we can put in a museum when we're all done. We'll be very happy to do it and mark it as a step forward in human history set here in Mears Park in the city of St. Paul.
Yeah, that recycling really is something that each one of us can do, and it's actually a commitment. Every time we do it, at that moment of discard, we're making a commitment to do something that makes St. Paul beautiful, makes us happy. It's really good for the environment. It's really making a difference, and it's something that we can share with each other today. It's sort of a gift. So now the music is going to start, and just give yourselves when we get through putting all the bottles in there, we're going to give ourselves a big round of applause, and we're going to listen to music and relax and enjoy. Thank you so much.